We were a young, feisty newsroom, very small. We all were in our 20s and our 30s. Peter was older. He had a PhD. He was a paratrooper. He was very knowledgeable. And he was our patriarch. He was the guy that you went to talk to if you had problems. He would also come to you and give you advice and teach you. But he was also the first guy to offer you a hand up. And he was always there to, even say, maybe you should have done it this way. He was a great, great person. Dozens and dozens of great stories with him where you left the story feeling great that you've done something and made something better, made someone's life easier, solved a problem. That was always the theme of his stories, and he always did that. I remember doing one story where a retail owner didn't hold up to his obligation to a customer. And we did the Peter Silverman thing, went into the store. We found out that the retail store owner's father was suffering from dementia. Peter sat on a board to help dementia victims. So by the time we finished that story, the customer was happy. The retail store owner had a referral for his father to a doctor and helped his life too. So he helped everyone in that story, and I just continuously remember all of the good things he did. He was also tremendously tough. He was a British paratrooper, and even in his elder years, he was the toughest guy I knew, and just a great guy that you can always bend an ear to and listen, and he always had solid advice. The stories that I've done with him were some of the most memorable I've ever done. I know there was several situations that were pretty dangerous. I remember that a lot of the work he did would not end with the story airing. He would keep on at it, and he would keep on trying to seek resolution. Even though the story had ended and had aired, he was still working for the person. And I remember the grateful people that he helped. I know that as a cameraman out there and still doing the beat, the news, people will still remember the phrase, and you hear it almost on a monthly basis, "Watch it, buddy," or "I have a problem, can I get Peter Silverman to help me?" And this is a decade after he left air. It's just amazing the impact he left on our family at City TV. You didn't know what happened. You just kept on rolling and kept on working at it, and stories. Your day never really ended. They just kept on going and trying to get the story completed, and it usually ended up in long hours, but the stories were always rewarding because most of the time he got complete resolution for everyone involved, and people loved him, really, really loved him. Like the people in the street, wherever we'd go, there'd be people. We sometimes had problems shooting stories because so many people wanted to come up and meet him. It was just amazing. And he was a doctor. He wrote books. He wrote several novels. He had an amazing family, an amazing wife who was also an author and a U of T professor. It was just, there was a huge wealth of knowledge that you could always ask Peter. Got a little tired of all the newspapers he read because you'd often read all 4 newspapers sitting in your truck and they ended up in the back seat. When I first heard about Peter, I called a couple of really close friends in the newsroom and just expressed the sorrow. A couple of people that are also have moved on from City TV and have careers elsewhere, and I talked to them and just expressed how sad it is and what a great loss it is to miss Peter. Peter was he was worldly, he was incredibly smart, knowledgeable, and such a patriarch to our City TV News family.